My tongue is on fire and I am drooling. Holy shit, dude. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fire and Flavor. I am Claire from the Butterfly Bakery of Vermont. How are you today, my friend?
I'm good. Thank you for having me here. I'm very
Yes.
excited to be here.
Yay. Me too. And I'm very grateful that you made some time for me out of your busy, busy life. You have a lot going on. So thank you again. Um, we can hop right into this. What were the first steps when starting out as a natural foods bakery in Vermont? And what inspired that?
Yeah, so I can't eat cane sugar or refined sugar. And I did a lot of experimental baking because I wanted to be able to eat yummy sweet things. A lot of the stuff out there in the world for people who don't eat sugar tastes like crap. And I wanted things that tasted good. And so I had from a young age, I stopped eating cane sugar by like age 14. So I was experimenting and making things and doing all of that. And I really kind of honed my recipe development skills when I was in college. I was in college to be a computer programmer, but I also ate in a dining co-op. And so at that co-op, I was able to, it was a vegan co-op. So I had to do a lot of experimentation and learn a lot. And I'm not vegan, but I know how to bake vegan very well. And, and so when I went to computer science I went to college for computer science, but as I was approaching graduation, I realized that I um, didn't want to do that. Just my heart wasn't in it. I had been planning it for so many years, and then I was like, no, I got to do something else. And my hobby at the time was baking. So I was like, okay, let's see if I can make this a thing. I grew up in California, in the San Francisco Bay Area, and in Berkeley. And I didn't want to go back there either. I love visiting there. I love my family there. I love going there. But it's expensive and there's earthquakes and it's dirty. And I don't know, it didn't feel like a place I wanted to live. I wanted to live somewhere a little bit more rural. And I looked at a few different places and my dad grew up in New Hampshire and we knew people in Vermont. And so I came and visited and I was like, yes, I like this place. We're going to do this. And I came here in mind of starting my own baking company. That it wasn't something I was ready to do right when I got here, but I wanted to get some experience, some professional baking, and then start my own company. So for the first year and a half or so that I was here, I worked in a co-op, like a co-op food store as their baker. And I also worked at a bread baking company and learned things there. Vermont's a small business place. So in both of those places, I was able to learn a lot about, I don't know, recipe costing and recipe, just the business side of things, really easily as an entry level person, which is great. Um, Starting a business in Vermont is really easy compared to a
Good.
lot of other states, especially California. California is pretty crazy. And if you're not going to be using a special name, like if you just want to start a company with your own name, literally all you have to do is start selling things. Like
Wow.
there's no business license in Vermont. If you're going to use a trade name, you need to register that. If you want to be a S corp or something like that, you have to register that. If you have a specialized area, so like food production, then you need to get your health inspection and all of that sort of stuff. But if you want to start really small, you actually in Vermont, we have cottage laws, so you can produce baking, et cetera, in your own home kitchen. There's also actually at this point there might only be one, but past there's been more shared use kitchens that you can rent to kind of not skip over that stuff, but just to have um, fewer hurdles to getting
Right.
going and figuring out what you're doing. But if you just want to make some cookies, you can make it in your own home kitchen. You can get that inspected. So there's under a certain dollar amount, you don't even have to get it inspected, like $10,000. Above that, you can have your home kitchen inspected. You can't have any pets having access to your kitchen. Certain rules, about what you need in your home kitchen. And then kind of a step above that is small bakery, the small, I don't know, health inspections, normal stuff. Um, and and then and then you can start selling. So in the beginning, it was so I had a farmer's market. I was part of the Montpelier farmer's market. That's a very competitive market to get into. So I was lucky that I actually got in there the first year because a baker had backed out. So I got in as a full year spot, the very first year I was there. And then because I had been working at the co-op food store, I was familiar with and at the bread bakery at Red Hen, I was kind of familiar with the small independent store scene. And so from the very beginning was selling wholesale. That's been the majority of our business for a long time, is
Oh,
selling wholesale to independent food stores and gift stores and that sort of thing. And all of our baked goods are sweetened with pure Vermont maple syrup. While that was, the intention from the beginning because of my own dietary restrictions, it was one of the pros in the column of moving to Vermont. I don't have to say there's no added refined sugars, which makes it sound like, I don't know, it's going to taste like crap. But instead, I get to say sweetened with pure Vermont maple syrup, and that sounds great.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I got to do all of that, and for a lot of years, it was just baking. And then in 2011, my farmers market sales were kind of slumping, and wanted to, I was just experimenting. It's a farmer's market. I was like, there's 2,000 people who come here every market. What do they want to buy? And I experimented with a lot of things. And then when those things didn't sell, then I would trade them with farmers with what they had left over. And during the right season, a lot of them had chili peppers left over because they actually grow really well here, which surprises a lot of people.
Right.
But they didn't have a huge market back in 2011. So then I would get a bunch of chili peppers. I would trade for a bunch of chili peppers because I grew up in California. I love spicy food. And then what do you do with a whole bunch of chili peppers except make hot sauce? Um,
Right.
and uh, and so I'd make hot sauce, and then I would sell that at the farmer's market the next year, utilizing cottage laws. At that point, I was just doing that in my house, even though um, I had an actual bakery, that my own space. And then I would sell that at the farmer's market, and that would sell out. I was doing tiny batches back then, and
I don't.
people just kind of started coming around. Do you have more of that? Do you have more of that? And I was just kind of like blown away. This wasn't what I intended to do at all, and people just really loved it. And then in 2013, maybe, I had an intern. We used to have a culinary school in Montpelier, the New England Culinary Institute, and I had an intern from the Culinary Institute, and her partner reached out to me and said, I like growing a lot of things. If I grow a lot of chili peppers, will you take them? And I was like, yeah, sure. No idea what I was getting myself into. um,
Right.
and come harvest time, he gave me 800 pounds of chili
Whoa.
peppers. And I
That's
was like,
insane.
um, and I didn't know how to freeze them. I didn't know any of that. So I was just making hot sauce frantically, trying to, come up with different flavors. And I don't know what people are going to want. And made just so many different things. And, um, and then what would happen was that is that that would that was selling really well, but we ended up with overstock, so we put it on sale just because we had random flavors that nobody wanted. We'd sell out of the ones that were really popular and all this random stuff. And then we would and so we put that on sale. So a lot of people were buying our sauce. It was like a really kind of accidental, opportune thing. And then that farmer didn't have more chili peppers for us next year. He had a little bit, but not a lot. And so we sold out. And so people were used to being able to buy like whole cases and buy them really cheap. I think it was $4 a bottle when it was on sale then.
Oh, wow.
And then they came back and they're like, oh my God, we need it. And I was like, okay, there is something happening here. This is not just a
For sure.
convenience purchase. So yeah, then we started making hot sauce.
Wow. That's like, well, one insane jump from living in California to moving to Vermont. I live in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like that's a huge jump. And also, I really love the origin of that, of people just kind of like giving you, like, you starting off as a baker, trying to not use refined sugars and using maple syrup. That is also super cool. And I love that. I do see sugar in a lot of hot sauces. I see
Mhm.
maple in there sometimes, but not in total substitute of sugar, which is like super, super cool. And I was also blown away when you said that they gave you 800 pounds and you really weren't sure what to do
And
with it.
and
And then
Jim
they
is
stopped
is
giving to you.
now a really good friend of mine. He has a lifetime supply of hot sauces whenever he wants.
Yeah, I would hope so. That's so
Well,
good.
and the funny thing is, I mean, he became a good friend at that point. And then he has this lifetime supply of hot sauce, and he said, you should make me a granola that so I don't have to buy this other granola that I like. And so I was like, I was bored. It was slow season. I was like, yeah, I'll come up with a granola. Like development is like what I do at my core. That's my favorite thing to do. And so it that particular batch of granola wasn't what became this, but it that is what it was like. Very soon after, I had to develop a recipe for a store and develop a granola for a store in a hurry. I told them I already had something in mind. I'd already been working on it. I'll bring it to you next week. And I was like, oh shit, now we got to make it. And it was our Mighty Tasty
Ooh,
granola, which is this is our best selling baked good. It is actually up until very recently, it was our top selling product on our website, which is
wow.
like kind of crazy if you think about how known we are for hot sauce. This was
Yeah.
like Mighty Tasty was our top selling product. And then we just got we're a Sophie Award finalist for the Mighty Tasty granola, which is the Sophie Awards are, the Oscars of the specialty food world.
Hmm.
And granola is a really saturated category.
For real.
So to be recognized in that is like absolutely blows my freaking mind. But it was Jim who inspired this flavor as well. So clearly, Jim has good taste.
Yeah, no, that's awesome too. And you're right. Granola is definitely super saturated.
Yeah.
I could go to like a Hannaford. You have Hannaford up in Vermont?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. They have probably like 50 kinds of granola. I work at a
Yeah.
Trader Joe's. We probably have like 15 kinds of granola.
Yeah.
So like
And
for you to come up on top of the Sophie Awards, just be like, no.
yeah. Well, and it's hard to get granola into stores because there's so many of them.
Right.
And so this is like, and it's funny because we really focus our like, marketing energy or sales energy then on hot sauce and caramel because those are our two top categories. But we're like, how do we put attention on this now? Because this is amazing. The flavors that are in Mighty Tasty I actually used in my wedding cake. So
Oh wow. Oh, that's
because
so
it's so
nice.
good.
Actually, yes, let's talk about the caramel for a second. So when I was at the expo, I saw it and I have an obsession with frogs and toads. Um,
Perfect.
but I didn't grab any because I was just purely there for hot sauce. So let's fast forward to summertime. There is a farm near me, Apple Crest Farms, a beautiful spot, but you actually sell your caramel there. I saw it. I'm like, where do I know this from? And then
Awesome.
and then I was perusing your website and I was like, oh, now I remember. So I'm gonna definitely have to pick some of that up. I really love the logo. He has like a little hat on, right? A little hat. Or am I
Yeah, yeah.
mistaken? Or
It's
yeah.
yeah, it's a little toad, and the artwork is actually done by Ed Koren. He's a New Yorker artist. He passed away recently, but he was neighbors to the original founders of Fat Toad Farm, and so he's
Wow.
a famous artist. And he just did the logo for Fat Toad Farm.
Wow. No,
Yeah,
that's really cool. I'm definitely like we go to Apple Crest sometimes. So next time I'm there, I'm gonna grab some because I need to go there anyway. I love it there, and they have some spicy shark. I want to get that gift back, which
nice,
I've run
nice.
out of. um,
We, speaking of gift packs, I don't know if I have one in here. We just launched a gift pack.
oh really?
And I've got one out there. So hold on one second. But yeah, no, we have a sampler
Oh,
pack we just launched.
oh, that's
And I'm
beautiful.
really excited about it. So
No, that's such a wonderful package.
yeah, this was like such a long time in the making and took like, and then we finally only got him in-house. Geez, we just got them in house like 3 weeks ago. Like
Oh
we
wow,
barely had these, and we've
so
sold
that's fresh, fresh.
crazy amount. But
What?
like it's annoying because like this is great to have well ahead of the holidays, not
Yeah.
mid-November.
Tell us
Um,
about the flavors in there if you don't mind.
yeah. So this is what we're launching it with, but I deliberately designed the box that we can have like other mixes, and we
Oh,
plan on
cool.
having other mixes. I just wanted to keep it simple for the beginning. So we've got Taco Vibes Only from season 20 of Hot Ones. And then Mellow Vibes Only, which is the milder version of that. We've got our Maple Sugar Shack Sriracha, our Maplewood Smoked Onion, which is our most popular flavor, and that was from season 7 of Hot Ones. Hot House, which is from season 26 of Hot Ones, and Cilantro Onion, which is one of our original green sauces. Really
Wow.
fantastic. So yeah, that's this setup. In the future, we're planning on doing other mixes and other stuff. Like we made the information down here from a sticker so that we can do different arrangements and
Oh, that's
all of
so
that.
nice.
But yeah,
I truly love that. That's beautiful.
thank you.
May I ask, that sriracha in there, is that the same as this maple sparkle sriracha? Just a
Very,
different
very
iteration?
similar.
Okay.
It's so there's no sparkles in that one, so there's that.
Right.
But the sparkle sriracha has a little bit more maple syrup in it than our regular sriracha, just because it felt more playful in the way that sriracha is more playful.
Hmm.
But very, very similar. It's not a lot more. It's not a lot more maple. So
Cool.
yeah.
So was there a particular sauce or flavor early on when you started making sauces that made you think this could be the heart of Butterfly Bakery's identity in terms of making hot sauce?
Yeah. So our first hit sauce was actually Heady Topper. Are you familiar? You're familiar with Heady Topper beer?
I think, yes, yes. I think I tried the mustard. You know the
Okay. Yep.
mustard, right?
So Heady Topper is a beer made by the Alchemist Brewery in Stowe here in Vermont, and they are considered the Heady Topper is considered one of the world's best beers, and it was one of those highly sought after, hard to get beers for a long time. It's a little easier. It's in Vermont. It's very easy to get now. You can get it at Shaw's, but you don't have to go very far outside of Vermont before it becomes sought after and hard to get again.
Mm.
Um, and the people who run it are awesome people, Jen and John Kimmich, and just amazing human beings. And so when we were first doing all of that experimentation, because I was having to come up with so many different flavors all at once, I was like, beer, let's put beer in hot sauce. And so I did quite a few of those, and then I would drop them off at the breweries, be like, look what we did with your beer. And some breweries think it's great, and some breweries are like, why are you ruining our beer? Um,
Oh,
but um, but the with the Alchemist, I didn't hear anything from them for a little while, and then randomly John reached out to me and was like, "Where do I get more of that? That's amazing." And I was like, "Well, actually, we're sold out. We don't have any." And he was like, "Oh shoot, I wanted to give some to my employees." And I was like, "Well, I've got a little bit of chili peppers in my freezer. Let me try to like make something from that." So we did a little batch that was like 30 bottles, I think, and I think they had about 30 employees at the time, and so I made like just enough for everybody to get one. And and then then that was really good, and they wanted another. I think we did another batch for them, and I started doing batches for sale, and those started doing really well. And that kind of and what I found too when we first launched our first lineup of flavors, which I think was Heady Topper, cilantro onion, Vermont Habs. We had a ghost pepper one in the very beginning, but then we had trouble sourcing ghost peppers, so we ended up dropping that one. And we had five. And then Sriracha. Sriracha was one of those first five. And
okay.
um, and those were based on like kind of what was the most popular from the farmers market and what peppers did we feel like we could get reliably. And because we only source our peppers from nearby farms. So we have to be really conscientious of our sourcing and what peppers we use because they're not going to be infinitely available to us.
Right.
And the and it was crazy when I would call stores, say, "Hey, I would like to tell you about my hot sauces. I would love to have you carry them." And they're like, and but then I would mention Heady Topper hot sauce. We've got flavors like sriracha and Heady Topper, and they'd be like, "Oh, Heady Topper. Okay, yeah, send me some of that. Yeah, and while you're at it, send me some of the other ones too." And it really just opened doors for us in the very beginning when we were an unknown brand. And then, I mean, honestly, that was probably the relationship with them was very much like a backbone of those early days. Um, and then we had a couple of other kind of key moments like that. We've since we've had partnerships with Guster, with the band Guster, which those are the
Yeah.
posters I have
Love
over there.
Guster.
Um, and then and then smoked onion was the one that smoked onion is far and away our most popular. That came about as a micro. We were doing it as a micro batch for the farmers market, and it was in 2016 when Bernie Sanders was running for president. He's our senator, and just in a Vermonters supporting Vermonters way that we all do, I was like, let's support Bernie, and Bernie doesn't take corporate donations, even though we're a small company, we're still a business.
Yep.
And so we donated from our personal funds, but for every bottle sold, we donated, I think it was a couple dollars or something to his
Oh,
campaign. And that sauce was called Feel the Burn. And when I developed the flavor for that, I needed something because at that point I had no idea how long his election would go or anything or how many I would need to make. I wanted something I could make year round. So I wouldn't have to get like basil or blueberries or things that I couldn't get in the winter. So I just started playing around with a smoker at home, and I think, and my husband and I have been playing like will it smoke, and just throwing random things in the smoker to see how it tastes. Smoked bananas are disgusting. I don't
oh
recommend
no,
them.
I don't want
Um,
that.
but we had smoked onions, and they were really good. We like Maplewood because it's Vermont. And so I was like, Maplewood smoked onion, let's do that. And so that originally was Feel the Burn. And it was funny because some people were buying it for the politics, yay, Bernie Sanders, whatever.
Mhm.
But then other people kept coming back and they're like, that sauce was just really good. Like that I want the sauce because of the sauce, not because of the politics. And so then when his campaign ended, we were like, we have to keep this sauce around. And so then we renamed it, we rebranded it, and then it got picked up on Hot Ones, and that wasn't even us trying to get it on Hot Ones. We already had an established relationship with the Heatonist and was already doing other
Mhm.
things with them. But then they just reached out to us and said, "Hey, we want to put this one on the show," and I was like, "That's cool." Um, but um, but yeah, and it's been our most popular ever since by like a
Wow.
pretty hefty margin.
Wow. I kind of wish I grabbed that one. I guess I'll have to get it for another time. Um, what a national treasure, huh? You made a freaking hot sauce after him too.
He
um,
really is. And I know he's
yeah,
so polarizing. And so
yeah.
I absolutely respect that. And I understand, people's frustrations with him and all of that. As our senator, he is absolutely fantastic. He invited a group of us, food makers to DC a couple of years back. And we did this tasting, at the Capitol, and, Leahy, or one of our other senators, did that for years. But when he left, he passed the baton to Bernie, and he kind of truly made it his own and did like a roundtable, with all of us who were there to just do the tasting and listen to what we had to say and our frustrations and our what was making our life harder, what could make it better. Um, and he genuinely listened and took feedback and talked to it. It felt extremely genuine. It sounded like he was listening to his people and not just like we're doing this for show and so that the cameras will see us. He's a good guy.
Yeah, it's something I've always appreciated about listening to him. He's definitely like shows genuine concern for not only his state but the country itself, and that's really nice. Did he
And
actually try that hot sauce?
I don't know if he did. I didn't get any one-on-one time with
The-
him.
oh,
So Leahy, our other senator, who was the longest Democratic senator in the country, I think, for a long time, he was born across the street from the state house, like literally born in that house that is across. It's part of
wow,
one of the state buildings now, but it was the house he grew up in. And he lived in Montpelier, and so he would come by the farmers market all the time. And it's funny because he just looks like any old Vermonter, but his Secret Service agents, they would really stand out at the farmers market.
yeah, I guess so. um,
But no,
wow,
with Bernie, I know that his on a national stage, some of his politics sound really crazy, and it's funny to totally understand that. I come from California, and in Vermont, it absolutely works, and
yeah,
I think it sounds so odd on the national stage, and is 100% works on the statewide stage. So
yeah.
yeah,
I can get that. I can get behind both of those actually though.
yeah,
I
yeah,
I I did vote for him back in the day. Um, anyways, I think we should crack into this garlic scape sauce. I actually
yes.
forgot to mention I have three of your sauces earlier on in the podcast. However, this is a not hot sauce. It just looked
Yes.
delicious. I love garlic scapes. We have a CSA over the summer with some of our friends that own a farm, and every week they would bring us garlic scapes, and I was just like, I cannot get enough of these things.
Yeah.
I was very sad when that ended, by the way. Um,
Well, and recently I heard somebody describe a garlic scape in a way that I had never heard before, which I interact with garlic scapes a lot. And it's the best way. So for people who are not familiar with garlic scapes, it is the flower stem to the garlic plant.
mhm. Yep, yep. And it just has all that flavor in it too, and it's just
Yeah,
like it kinda looks like a
delicious.
very thin scallion and thick
Yeah.
scallion, you chop it up. You have a little blurb on the stop on the excuse me, a little blurb on the side here, and I just wanna read that real quick. The simply delicious garlicky rich sauce is good anywhere that you could put a hot sauce, but it has none of the heat. It's great in marinades, on crackers, on eggs, and on just about anything else that wants for a dose of flavor. So that's really cool. And then also, I saw this earlier. It says grown within 200 miles of our Vermont kitchen,
Yes.
which is very cool. You
And
are truly about keeping it local.
absolutely. And if you look at the top of that bottle, there's going to be a sticker on it that says which
Oh,
farm the
yeah.
scapes came from.
Yeah, and let's
So
get that
I
on the
think it's probably
camera.
Pete's Greens. I
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Yep. In collaboration with Pete's Greens, and we'll go over the ingredients real quick for our viewers and listeners. And this is really simple, guys. You're gonna love it. Garlic scapes, organic white vinegar, and salt. Super simple,
Yep.
probably packed with flavor. I love the color, and I loved it when I, like, move it around. It's fluid, but I can just see stuff floating around.
Yeah.
Also makes for a very fun sauce. Your barcode is in the shape of Vermont, and, I meant to comment on that. So before I I tried to do hot sauce company a few years ago in New Hampshire. Didn't work out for me. I never tried any of your products, but I also did that with the state of New Hampshire. So that's
Yeah.
really cool.
It
And
absolutely works.
also, I talked to a company a couple weeks ago called Female Rage Hot Sauce,
Yeah.
and she
Emily.
told me, yeah, Emily is such a gem.
Yeah.
She told me that you guys inspired her to do the same
Nice.
with her UPC. So that was
Awesome.
cool.
That's great.
I wanted to let you know that if you didn't know that already. And we're gonna pop this bad boy open. Wow, I love that you have purpley and freaking labels or shrink wrap rather, not labels. Give it a nice shake. I don't know if it really needs a shake, but we're gonna do it anyway.
It's always good. We don't have any gums or anything in there, so I always advocate
Yeah,
for shaking.
I agree. That smells crazy. That smells really good. It smells so like, punchy and garlicky. Everything I'd want in a sauce like this, and I haven't even tasted it yet. And it pours really well. All right, let's give it a shot. Wow. Wow, I was not expecting oh, wow. I could drink I just leaked everywhere.
It
I could
is
drink this.
it is really addictive. Like it
Yeah.
just it has that moreness aspect to
Wow.
it that you just kind of keep wanting to have more, especially because there isn't any heat. So there's nothing that's like holding you back. You're
Right.
like, let's keep doing more of
Oh,
that.
and it's funny you say that because, it's in a woozy bottle, and I know it's not a hot sauce, but it looks like a hot sauce, so, like, part of me was expecting I just read the ingredients out loud. Part of me was expecting there to be just a slight punch, and I'm like, "Oh, no, no, check this out, right? Mm, 10 out of 10. I am so happy I picked this up. This
Awesome.
is
Awesome.
great. This is great.
And it
Wow.
really is like it is really good to use anywhere you use it. Hot sauce also makes a really great salad dressing. If you just mix that with like a little olive oil, like you're good to
Mhm.
go. You got everything.
Oh,
Um
no. It's wonderful.
yeah.
Wow.
My
It's
my
such a
sister-in-law,
flavor bomb.
whenever I give like her a whole bunch of stuff, she immediately opens up that one and then just starts pouring it on crackers just constantly.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll have the whole bottle right now.
I
Yeah.
can see that. That is like a 10 out of 10 in my book. And
Thank you
wow.
very much.
Oh, yeah. No, I love that. So you mentioned earlier that you've been on quite a few seasons of Hot Ones. That's pretty crazy. Even like earlier seasons. So you've been pretty much a staple for that show. What was it like the first time that you had they had approached you?
Um, yeah, I mean, so Hot Ones has the Heatness has kind of handled Hot Ones a little differently over the years. So with season 7, it was still pretty low key. It hadn't really exploded in the way that it has now. So now they do like POs ahead of time to order stuff. Back then it was just we're going to put it on the show and then we'll order some sauce. And I think that kind of ran them into trouble sometimes where a sauce maker would run out of sauce or could make more or something. So then they started putting POs in so to make sure that they had their the stock that they needed for it. And it's I was a very small company. I'm still a small company, but I was an even smaller company back then. And so, I didn't really know what to do with the national stage aspect of it. And I didn't really do anything with it. I just kind of was on the show and cool. And then I could talk about this as a show, the hot sauce that was on the show. We only just put it on the bottle that smoked onion was on Hot Ones. And it was on Hot Ones back in, I don't know, 2017 or something, 18. Like
Wow.
it was a while ago. Um, and 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 like I said, we do a lot with the Heatnist. We're also we do the Keith sauces for the Try Guys, and that's through the Heatnist. We make the Hot Ones Nugget Honey.
Oh,
We work with them on other projects that they have, project development stuff. So although I think at that point when they called us about that one, they were carrying some of our products. Noah reached out directly to carry our products. Noah's actually lived in Vermont when he was in high
oh, wow.
school, so he was, I think, probably specifically looking for a new Vermont hot sauce. But the so I was already working with them pretty regularly. I don't know. I was doing some special projects for them back then. Honestly, I don't remember which side of Hot Ones that fell on. But one thing I found, and this has held true for every season that we've been on, that during the season, you can't sell the sauce. Back then, I could. And so the moment that it dropped, that it went out into the world, that it was going to be on Hot Ones, we got all this, they've got this flood of order from wholesale accounts. And now you're not allowed to sell to anybody except them during the run of the show.
Oh, wow.
And so, which I mean, I think makes sense from their standpoint, to be the exclusive provider of these sauces during that
Mhm.
time. And so nowadays when you're on the show, you get a phone call and you're like, that's great. You figure out all the logistics and the details because there's usually a relatively quick turnaround, usually like 6 weeks ish. Besides doing our own season, we're a co-packer, so we've made other people's sauce for them. Our sauces that we have made in our kitchen have been on the show 9 times
Oh,
besides
wow.
our 3 seasons.
Yeah, that's
Um,
crazy.
and so the shortest turnaround we ever had was 3 weeks, and that was insane. We were actually doing two sauces that season, neither of which were ours. They were both. It was Shaquanda Will Feed You and Alchemy Peppers.
Oh,
That
wow.
was season 27, I think.
Oh,
So that was insane. That was insane to deal with, but it was fine. We did it.
that's crazy.
And and so then they put in POs for how much sauce they're going to order, and of course you have to stay quiet about it until until it's announced to the world. And then at that point, yeah, you can't sell it to anybody else. We, except for smoked onion, we've always developed exclusively or specifically for Hot Ones, so it's never been an issue for us that we have to like pull something off the market and not
Hmm.
sell it anymore. So that's been a helpful thing for us. um but then when the season is over, um the first time the so we went from our first season was season 7, our second season was season 20, so it was a long window of time in there. And for season 28, that was taco vibes only, and I wasn't sure, was it going to be really popular after the season ended? Was there going to be a whole flurry of people trying to buy it? And it was kind of crickets. We got picked up by a couple people, but it's a super hot. We're in New England,
Yep.
and also, is it just a shtick or is it real? Is it good? Who knows? And now I noticed this for Smoked Onion after the run of the show was done. I noticed this for Taco Vibes after the show run was done, and then for Hot House, our most recent one. That after the season is done, tends to be really slow and quiet in sales. And then it builds and it picks up. And
Oh,
so smoked onion wasn't our most popular after the show ended, but then it grew. And then for a long time, Taco Vibes was just kind of, I was like, okay, it'll be a number nine sauce that, the chili heads buy, but we don't actually sell that much.
mm,
And it has become our number one seller on our website. And the thing that drove that was, well, it was happening before this happened, but then we got named in Food and Wine magazine for having the best
mm.
hot sauce in the country. And that was specifically about Taco Vibes.
Wow.
And it was an article of all national brands. It's got Truff and Cholula and whatever in this list of like top recommendations by chefs. And then ours was at the very top and was the only craft hot sauce brand listed,
Wow.
which was
That's so
wow.
cool.
It was
Wow.
huge, absolutely huge.
I would probably
It is,
cry.
I was, well, the crazy part was I was actually at the fancy food show in New York City at the time. And I had just finished setting up our booth. I was busy, I was exhausted. The next day I was meeting with international buyers to see about doing export. I was like a million things. Food and Wine or fancy food show is the most insane experience for a food producer. And I got a phone call from my advisor, my business coach, and he was like, "Have you seen Food and Wine?" And I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm like dirty and sweaty. And I've just finished. I'm like, no, I haven't seen Food and Wine. Like, what are you talking about? And then he told me about this, and I was like, oh my God. And so I actually rushed, like, I got back to my hotel room and I like designed like a little poster that we could have at our booth that I could bring with us to the meetings with the international buyers. And I got it printed at Staples and I ran over there and picked it up. And I mean, it was absolutely crazy. And since then we've kind of figured out this better poster that has more, that's more succinct. And besides being top of this list, we were actually named by two chefs as their favorite hot sauce at Taco Vibes, which is an insanely spicy hot sauce.
Yeah.
And two different chefs listed as their favorite, but one of them specifically said that Butterfly Bakery makes the best hot sauce in the country,
Oh
and that was
man.
Chef Jason Vincent out of Chicago at Giant Chicago Restaurant, and he was Food and Wine's 2013 like best new chef, something like that. He's
Wow.
really great. He orders from us for his pizza place. He has a pizza mazza and he
Oh,
orders the mellow vibes only for his pizza place.
that's
Um,
awesome.
so yeah, so that was huge. And so yeah, Taco Vibes, it took a moment, that was like 2 years after it had been on the show that it kind of
Wow.
like catapulted forward. And then Hot House, kind of as soon as the show ran over, it was like, it's just sitting there on a pallet. And I'm starting to see that same little uptick of people being like, wait a minute, I
Mm,
like this and I want to keep buying it.
yeah.
And so it's a funny thing about that show. And it's it's such a huge moment for a sauce maker to be on that show. And it's sometimes really hard to know what to make out of it. Like what can you do with it besides having a sign on your booth at Hot Sauce Show that says we were on Hot Ones, which is
Yeah.
great. But like as the years go on, more and more sauce makers are going to have that same sign. So
Right.
what
And
do you do with it?
yeah. And not only that, a lot of people watch Hot Ones, but some of the celebrity, they're, wow, I'm having a major brain fart. That like why can I not think right now?
You mean like
They're
celebrity reactions?
Yes, yes. I cannot think of the word reaction. Their reactions are so over the top sometimes that it might kind of deter people from, you're like, dude, there's like a jalapeno in this. Like, but I actually wanted to rewind a second though. But yes, the celebrity, like, you know what I mean? So like that might turn people away. But then I find myself going and revisiting old seasons of that show and watching
Yeah.
it just because I enjoyed the episode so much. But I didn't know you made the nugget honey because I
Yep.
bought that like
Yep.
years ago and eat that. And also Alchemy Peppers,
Yep.
they do the hops, right? They do the hops
Yes.
hot sauce. You make that for them?
We do. Yep.
That's cool. So I had all their bottles in my fridge at one point a few years
Nice.
back too.
Yeah,
So
we
I guess I
make
have technically tried some of your stuff, even though it's not your stuff. It's like
well, and that's the
collaboration.
funny thing too. Whenever we just funny note, I just glanced over at my email over here and we have a PO from the Eat Nest. I don't know what it is, but there's one here that just
That's
came in.
awesome.
But but no, we're a co-packer and we make a lot of different sauces for a lot of different companies that a lot of people don't realize. So Spicy Shark, we make his,
Hmm.
Alchemy Peppers. We've done, we did the Hot Ones sauce for Queen Majesty. She does her own production, but we made her Hot Ones sauce. And that's something that we're starting to kind of get a reputation for, of like being able to like meet the demand and meet the needs of the Heatonist. So if you maybe have a co-packer who's too small to handle hot ones, or you make your own, or you don't, and being able to kind of handle that demand, like we can turn that around pretty quickly.
Wow.
And then Shaquanda will feed you. We made his hot one sauce. um Sugar Bob's Finest Kind. I don't know if you know him, because he's a
No.
Vermont company, and he's more into the specialty food world than the hot sauce world. But he's really great. He's one of our biggest product customers. And then Fuego Box. I don't know if you remember them. They've
Yep.
since gone
I
out of
do.
business, but we made all of their products as well. Um, and Yeah, we do a lot of different stuff. We're kind of known for we can do really big runs and capacities, or hot ones and stuff like that, but we also do really small. Our smallest co-pack runs are about 12 cases. So it's
Wow.
that's something that I really learned how to do with our micro batch productions. And I just made a point of not losing that ability. And we could and it's really fun. We do small productions, we do test batches. We've had clients who go from being like, okay, we're only getting micro batches, we're only getting stovetop batches, going up to our 200-gallon kettle.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really fun. We get
That's
to see
really
what everybody's
nice.
doing.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. You get to help all these smaller brands kind of
Yeah,
expand and be like, we're gonna pump it up, those rookie numbers.
yeah,
Um, I had a question about the honey. It
yep,
has pepper X in it, but it's
yep.
not a very hot honey. It's tasty, it's delicious, and it has a slight warmth to it. But what was it like? How did you get your hands on Pepper X? You don't have to tell me. Just like, you must have had to sign a shitload of paperwork or something, or was he giving you de-seeded pods or powder or extract? I'm just curious because I see brands that use it. Um, High River, he just sent
Mm.
me a new taco sauce that has it, but I'm just curious. And if you can't divulge that information, that's also fine.
No,
I'm
it's
so
it's
curious.
fine. It's fine. I no, so like I said, we work with the Heatonist, and the Heatonist is really who has the lion's share of hold on the Pepper X supply, besides Puckerbud, of course. And so they were the ones who supplied it to us. So we've got a bucket of it back there. It's a powder.
Wow.
It's a powder. It's not
I
seeds or
figured.
anything. But yeah, that's the there's a couple things about hot honey. I mean, one specifically, it's not supposed to be a blast your face off
Right.
hot honey. It is a hot honey, and it's got pepper X in it. But the funny thing about hot honey, we've made a lot of different hot honeys. So we were the ones who made Fuego boxes, Hot Hive, and they're like super hot honey, and they're barrel aged honey. We've made We don't make it anymore, but we used to make Spicy Shark's hot honey. He has another person making it. The And then we've made it for other companies as well. To the point where actually for a while we wouldn't make our own hot honey, because
Well,
we knew too much about how everybody else made their hot honey, and there's not a lot of ingredients in hot honey.
right,
And we
right,
always need to be really careful with co-packing, that we never, not only do we never steal anybody's ideas or recipes, we never appear to steal anybody's ideas or recipes. That's almost, we need to, even if we came up with something completely on our own, if it looks a lot the same like somebody else's, they'll be like, hey, what the hell? And I'll be like, no, no, we did it on our own. Like we there's too many recipes out there in the world. There's
right,
too many different foods out there for us to ever appear to have copied somebody else.
right.
So even clients who come to us say, we want you to develop a hot honey, I'd be like, nope, I won't do it. You can come to me with a recipe and I will make it. If it happens to be exactly the same as somebody else's, great. But that was it.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, but the funny thing about hot honey, like I said, we make a lot of it, is that one thing is it can separate. So the heat can sit right up at the tippy top, and
Yep.
in whatever infusion, whatever liquid you use in the honey. And so what's underneath it can literally have no heat. there's that. Um, the and the other piece of it, the honey just really kills the sweetness or really kills the heat.
Right.
And so one of the things that I've noticed about eating hot honey, especially when we make it a lot here and I have to eat a lot of it, is that I, people have the problem of, it tastes spicy going in and it tastes spicy coming out. Um, Generally speaking, that's not an issue for me, except with hot
Same.
honey. And hot honey is the one thing that will cause that in me, because it is actually really, you're consuming a lot of spiciness, but the effect of the heat in your mouth is wildly suppressed by the sweetness of the honey. So what I found personally with honey, like, so we're doing a honey for a nearby apiary right now, and they don't want it to be crazy hot, but they do want it to have some heat. And so finding that middle ground between no heat and too hot is really hard, because you often on the first bite you like don't taste it,
Right.
and so then you need to, but you keep piling it on, and that'll stick and it'll stay on and it'll keep building and it'll grow. Also, Pepper X is really, I mean, I don't know how many Pepper X sauces you've tasted, but we've worked with it besides in the honey, and the it's a really different kind of heat than say a Reaper. A Reaper feels more like Reapers and Ghost heat. I mean, obviously the
It's
flavor,
like
but
a
the heat itself
slow
is very
build, kind
similar.
of.
What?
I find it to be a slow build. The Carolina Reapers and Ghosts, they kind of
So
like,
Pepper X is even slower.
wow.
And so what I've noticed with Pepper X is you can taste the sauce and be like, this sauce isn't hot at all. This sauce, oh, oh, now it's starting. Oh, oh shit. Okay, now this is really
Yeah,
hot, but
yeah,
like way slower than a Reaper. So like where like a jalapeno, so at the beginning you get flavor. You always get flavor in the beginning with a hot sauce. And then with like a jalapeno, serrano, habanero, you're gonna get heat, not too far to the back, but and it's not too hot. So the flavor still, there's some overlap between the flavor and the heat. And but then with like Reaper, what you're saying, it's a slower build, so it comes in farther toward the end. But then like if jalapeno heat is here in your tasting and Reaper heat is here, Pepper X heat is like all the way over here. And so
yeah.
I've even experienced where the Reaper heat is dying off. And if you have Reapers and Pepper X and something, the Reaper heat is dying off, and then the Pepper X heat starts to come in. Like it's so delayed. And so I think with hot honey, that's even more magnified. And
Yeah.
so like, and so I think it's like it's really easy to taste it and be like, that's not hot. But then you pile it on and you keep having more, and you're like, that's got a kick.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, it definitely does. Like, that nugget honey, it is warm, but I am also just a little bit desensitized.
yeah.
Um,
I mean,
like that.
absolutely.
So the Heatlist makes a Pepper X classic sauce. Um, have you had that? You don't
A
make that, do you?
no, I haven't had a Pepper X
So
classic.
so they do, yeah, it used to be a limited run, and you can only get it, like, once a year, and then now I think you can get it all the time. It's one of my favorite sauces, but, dude, it is like a slap in the mouth, like, and you're right, it is, like, delayed, you're like, "Oh, that's really good," but then you're like, "Whoa." It's
Yeah.
just absolute bonkers. You have a bucket of powder out back, oh my god, I couldn't even imagine, like, accidentally, like, dumping that in a cloud or something, just be like, "Oh my god, I'm
When we
gonna
work with the
die."
super hot powders, we have full PPE, like
I don't doubt
full
it.
like bodysuit, like a disposable full bodysuit, a head sock, and goggles and respirator. Basically with the goal that it doesn't touch your skin. When you're working with like normal human amounts, it's fine. Capsaicin oil is not that volatile. We work with spicy stuff all the time. But
Right.
when we're working with like 50,
Inhalants.
60
Yeah.
pounds of super hot powder.
Ugh.
And the air in our kitchen is constantly moving because of all the exhaust fans that we have. And very quickly, that will land on your skin, that will land on your face, it'll make your face burn. When we were making taco vibes, one of our kitchen crew got splashback of the. So we actually make a Reaper slurry for taco vibes. And so we're not pouring powder directly into the kettle where the hood is just going to suck it right back up in your face. So
Yeah.
we, ahead of putting it in front of the kettle, we make a slurry with some of the liquid and the Reaper powder to basically contain it and make it stay in. and some of that slurry bounced back and got in his eye underneath his contact.
Oh no.
It was
Poor
horrendous.
dude.
Yeah,
Oh man.
he like ripped his contact out of his eye and was just
Oh,
washing it. And yeah, so
that
it,
sounds awful.
you don't fuck around with that stuff.
No, 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 you don't. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Good on you for making your workers wear PPE.
Well,
Wow,
I
dude.
leave it to them as choice, but then when they come to me and complain, I'm like, I have it there for you. Wear
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
They almost exclusively wear the sleeves and the head sock. The
Right, right.
PPE in the summer, or the whole like hazmat suit, is
It's hot.
it's
It's
hot
hot.
in the summer.
Yeah.
So I let them decide if they're gonna
Ugh.
how they
Every
want to
year
approach that.
Every year when I harvest my super hots and I make hot sauce just for friends and family and hand it out, I always wear gloves because the first year I did that,
Yeah.
total regret. Just tap soil. Like
Yep.
it's not as bad, but like an hour or two later, you're like, oh my God, my hands are on fire. And you're like, why is this happening? You're like, oh yeah, because I cut up a bunch of peppers with my bare hands like an idiot.
So I will say, if you get super hot, if you get, chili peppers, capsaicin oil on your hands or on your skin, hydrogen peroxide is
Really?
a miracle. Yeah.
Wow.
So I have eczema. Just I have eczema on my hands and feet, and well controlled and all of that. But one of the treatments for eczema flare-ups is actually a bleach bath, which I know sounds like a really weird thing, but it actually works. It totally relieves like itching or whatever that you get from eczema. And by bleach bath, we're talking like swimming
Super
pool
diluted.
concentration of
Yeah.
bleach. It's not a lot. But swimming pools themselves actually can help. They can be drying, which can exacerbate eczema, but they can also help with the eczema.
Mhm.
Um, so I had an employee here who also had eczema, and we would talk about that. Yeah, the bleach baths, they really help. And she was one of my friend end employees. She was not a kitchen employee, and she was taking compost to a nearby farm that had a lot of chili pepper and spicy stuff in it. And I told her when she was taking it to the farm, make sure to wear gloves. Make sure to wear gloves. Being that she wasn't a kitchen person, she didn't put on the latex gloves. She put on our thermal fabric gloves.
Oh,
And when she went to like scoop out the buckets of the chili pepper stuff, it soaked into the gloves and into
no.
her hands were on
It
fire,
must have been red.
absolutely on fire. And she was talking like that day, she was like, this hurts so much. She's like, it hurts my eczema. And I was like, well, maybe you could help the eczema just with like some bleach. And like, we didn't, but then I was like, oh, but hydrogen peroxide is a bleach. And we have it in spray
Mm.
bottles because well, we had it in spray bottles because of COVID, because we didn't do nothing at that point.
Right.
We had the spray bottles around, and I was like, just give that a try. And she sprayed on her hands, and she was like, instant relief. And like, it doesn't last forever, the instant relief. But the thing is, the hydrogen peroxide the
Yeah.
gets into all the little crevices that the oil, the capsaicin oil, stays in, and so it gets in and it works it out. And so, depending on how badly you're burned by the chili peppers, you might have to keep, you might have to keep spraying it, or giving yourself a little spray. But it is really instant relief. It feels really, really good.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
actually really good to know because I get eczema all over my legs and arms too.
yeah.
This time of year particularly, it's just awful.
And I
Um,
would say I'm not a
yeah.
doctor, so don't take
No,
medical advice from
yeah,
me. But I
not
do
Dr.
know,
Claire.
like when I first heard that, I was like, that's ridiculous. And I came across an article on the Mayo Clinic website about bleach baths and eczema, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a
Mm,
try, because I had really bad pregnancy eczema,
mhm.
and like my arms were so itchy, and I was like, I'm just trying it, and I was like, oh my God, that was so much better. So
Wow.
yeah,
I'll look into it and give it a try.
yeah.
But in the meantime, I want to try this maple sparkle sriracha.
Yes, that is much better than a bleach bath.
Yeah. Um, so again, beautiful, beautiful. I really love these sparkles. I also love sriracha in general. I love trying everyone's like version of sriracha.
Yeah.
So, I recently did a video about Hoi Fong and
Hmm.
Underwood Ranches.
Hmm.
You know the story about them, right?
Oh yeah.
So like I did a video where because in New England, I don't know if you can in Vermont. I could not find that anywhere. The Underwood Ranch one. I didn't want to order it online. So I was up in Buffalo, New York a couple weeks ago and I found it at a Wegmans. So I was like, oh, hell yeah. I grabbed it, grabbed 2 bottles of that because I love that they use the red jalapenos, such an
Mhm.
underrated pepper. Um,
I love
and
red jalapenos.
oh my God, dude, it's just like, I wish they sold them like that at the store, but they just don't. Um, but anyways, I did a video where I compared the 2, told the history of it, and then, that the
Well,
rest is history. But I
I
love
mean,
that.
no, I mean, you like, we're known for our collaborations and work with farmers. We source directly from small farms. We source 100% of our produce directly from small farms. It's a core part of what we do. Our work with our farmers are the most important part of anything we do. And I feel like that Hoi Fong story is such a fuck around and find out
It
story.
really is.
And
It
I
really
am
is.
just honestly, I'm kind of overjoyed is not the right word. It's maybe some Schadenfreude, like
For real.
that, like, you don't fuck with your farmers. Like
No,
they are the reason for your existing, and
exactly.
you've got to treat them right.
And it was like a 30-year relationship that they had,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
I taste them side by side. I did the Hoi Fong first and then the Underwood Ranch second. And they're both sriracha, but they're both very different. The Hoi Fong one is much more garlicky,
I can
not
see that.
very chili forward. Underwood, still garlicky, but way more chili forward. It has that beautiful like red color to it from the jalapenos, and it has like that really nice jalapeno flavor to it. Anyways, that was a little sidetrack, but love sriracha, dude. It's so good. I want to read you a little blurb here. Oh, and also this was for Pride Month, right?
Yeah. So it's one of
Yes.
our generosity sauces. Yeah.
Generous. Oh, yes, and it does say that on the front. Um, Maple Sparkle Sriracha is a fabulously playful medium hot sauce that goes well with the whole spectrum of foods. I believe it. Butterfly Bakery of Vermont is proud to be donating 25% of the sales of this queer hot sauce to Pride Center of Vermont in their mission to celebrate, educate, and advocate with and for LGBTQ Vermonters. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
really cool. I love that, and it makes me even happier that I bought this knowing that, um,
We
there's
do
a
quite a number of
contribution.
generosity things. Our year-round generosity sauce is our Ghost Verde pickle, and we donate 5% of the profits to that to World Central Kitchen that feed people in disasters.
Wow.
And then we also donate a percentage of our website sales. Right now, it's 5% of our website sales. We donate directly to the Vermont Food Bank. We donate percentage sales of our Gustard mustard to Zeno Mountain Farm. We do a lot of different generosity stuff. It's a lot of fun.
That's so cool, and I'm just gonna go over the ingredients real quick. I love this bottle, it's beautiful. Woo! Dog River Farm red jalapenos. Now we're talking. White vinegar, Pete's greens, garlic scapes. Again, another fabulous addition. Choice excuse me, can't speak. Choice maple Vermont maple syrup. That's a mouthful. Salt, edible glitter, mica based, pearlescent dextrose. Very cool, very cool. And you have these little like shiny chili peppers here indicating how hot or not it is. It looks
Yeah.
like it's 3 out of 6.
Yeah.
I'll take it. Happy medium. Love it. So fun. Let's pop this open. I've been waiting to try this since September.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a really fun sauce. Like I said, it's a little bit sweeter than our regular sriracha, but not by a lot.
it smells
And the
good.
sparkles are just joy. They're just joy.
They really are. And it smells really good. Actually, so I want to make this note. I'm gonna shake it again. Um, thing I noticed about Underwood Ranch's sriracha in this one also, the red jalapenos kind of give like a almost like a tomatoey flavor, like
Mhm.
scent to it, but there's no tomato. It's
Yep.
just the ripeness of the fruit because they're
Yep.
both nightshades, so they're kind of like from the same family. But wow,
Well,
it smells great.
a lot of people comment on our smoked onion hot sauce that it tastes very tomatoey, and there's no tomato in it
Yeah.
whatsoever.
I tried another sauce recently that was like, so I'm like finding that more with sauces. I love that I poured this on and it's just like red sparkles. I can't get it on the camera properly, but it's really fun. All right. It almost makes me scared to try it, but I know there's no need to be scared. It's just funny.
No,
I'm
it's
not
it's
used to
totally
eating
your mouth.
sparkly
You
food.
you will not feel the sparkles ever.
That is so good. That
Thank
is
you.
mapley right up front. Wow.
Yeah,
Um, I feel the sparkle. It's sparkling in my mouth a little bit in a great way. It's so nice. I love this. Wow. Holy crap, dude.
it's really good on eggs. Like it's a really great
Oh my
breakfast. A
God,
great way
dude.
to start your day. Start your day with some sparkle.
I would
Um,
love to.
Good
Wow.
Bloody Mary. It's good. I mean, I don't know. It's everywhere you use sriracha.
So this is obviously it's a limited sauce, but you don't make the same recipe all year long, right? It's just
No,
like
we
this
we
is an
actually only make
offshoot of
one
it.
batch of that sauce. So we make 40 gallons of it and then we just sell it until it's gone.
Wow.
And we've done it now. It's our third year in a row making it. We may change it up for next year because there are a lot of people who are excited about supporting, Pride or
Wow.
Pride Center of Vermont or all of that, but they're like, well, I've already had that sauce. What else are you going to do? So we might do, but I think we'll always do sparkles for Pride
Yeah.
because that's just
Wow.
fun.
Well, it just feels right. This is
It
so
just feels
good.
right.
Um,
Thank you very much.
please keep making this. I like, oh man, I'm gonna feel awful when I run out of this and I'm just like spewing it.
Well,
This
flavor
is
wise, it is
wow,
very,
dude.
very similar to our maple
Okay.
sugar shack sriracha, which is
Okay.
one of our most popular sauces.
Mm. Does that one have red jalapenos also?
Yes.
Oh
I
man.
am a huge fan of red jalapenos. One of
Yep.
the huge benefits of working directly with farms is they will grow you what you want to buy from them.
Hmm.
So if you say, I want red jalapenos, they will grow you red jalapenos.
It's
Um,
amazing.
and I would also say to that, you say that you have a hard time getting red jalapenos. If you have any farms that grow chili peppers, ask them about it because all a red jalapeno is a fully ripe green jalapeno. So
Right. I grow them every year just to let them ripen because,
yeah,
like, there's nothing like walking outside in the summer and being like, I got a ripe one and plucking it and then making breakfast with it and my potatoes or
yeah.
my wife's eggs or something. Do we have a blast with it every year? It's like my favorite.
Red
It's
jalapenos
so
are
nice.
my favorite chili pepper for
Yeah,
sure.
same for real. It's just, there's nothing like it. And I feel like I do enjoy a green jalapeno too. Just not enough people
Yeah,
know that they turn
different
red.
way.
A lot of people don't even know that peppers ripen are red. Well,
I
most
know.
of them. It's kind of strange. So bum. Where am I at here? I've kind of skipped a lot of these questions because you just answer them for me without me having to ask. It's really nice.
You're welcome.
Um, so how does the seasonal nature of Vermont produce influence your product schedule or sauce variety throughout the year? We kind of just talked about this with like the srirachas and stuff. But could
Yeah,
you elaborate more?
absolutely. I mean, it's integral to the way that we operate. So uh, we reach out to farms in like late January and we figure out what we need for the whole year. And then we reach out to farms in late January. We say we've got a list of, at this point, for our pepper growers, probably six, seven different farms. We work with like 18 different farms, but for pepper specifically, it's
Wow.
like six or seven right now. And we say this is what we need for the whole year, or for the year. What can you provide at what price? We actually let our farms set their price because I want them to get the amount that they need to get to support their farm. I'm very
Hmm.
open with the fact that if they charge if they charge an egregiously high price, like obviously that's not going to work. If they charge, a higher price, I'm probably going to buy less of theirs and more of somebody else's. But I
Hmm.
always diversify our purchasing and buy across the spread of the farms that we have, because without a doubt, every year we have a farm or a lot of farms who end up short on what they intended to grow, because farming is a wily business, and there's so much risk involved for them, and by spreading out my farm purchasing, I can reduce my risk and make sure that I'm still able to get peppers so that I can come back and buy from them the next year, when they
Wow.
can have a really good year. Um, but it always balances out. We have different farms who grow different. I mean, yeah, who grow different things, and we've definitely ended up short for a year. Onions have historically been very difficult because they need a lot of water, so we had a big drought year this year. But in past years, I've only ordered from two or three farms, and this year I got from or like four or five, and that helped a lot with our onions. So we actually got better onion yield from Butterfly Bakery, even though the farms that we bought from had worse
Wow.
yield. Um, So we do all of that in like January, February. Then they buy their seeds and plan their land. And then starting in June for garlic scapes, July for onions, and late August for chili peppers.
Wow.
We start bringing all those crops in. They just start delivering them as they have them. We hire extra people, and we wash them all and prep them all if there's any prepping to do. We put them in bags and tag them and freeze them. And we have a 2,000 square foot freezer. It is bigger
Wow.
than my house. It's a 2,000 square feet with 11-foot ceilings.
That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah,
Whoa.
it's huge. It's a huge portion of our building, and it takes a lot of energy.
Holy
But
crap.
it is a really fantastic freezer. We have pallet racking in there, and we have big totes, Gaylord boxes of
Mhm.
bags of chili peppers, broken up by type, by farm, etc. We used to do organic production for some of our clients, and so we'd also make sure to have those breakouts too of having the organic separated from the non-organic. Most of our farms grow with organic practices, although a lot of our farms are so small that certifying
Right.
organic is prohibitive. So
Right.
um, so we do still have, I mean, Vermont is like the lead organic producer or grower, growing area in New England. So a lot of our farms are still certified organic as well. But yeah, so that's kind of our process for getting all of the produce that we need, and then we just use it, throughout the rest of the year. And so we're really planning our needs 18 months in advance, which is really, really hard to do.
Yeah.
And we back in 2019, before the pandemic, our hot sauce was growing at this nice 30 to 50% a year, which is a really wonderful trajectory. And then the pandemic hit, and everybody was stuck at home eating food that they cooked themselves that wasn't as good as what they were buying from a restaurant, and they were buying stuff on the internet because they couldn't take vacations. And we grew about 300% in a quarter.
Whoa.
We went from having 6 employees to having 35. And we were already in the process of buying the building that we're in now. And so we moved in October of 2020, from a 3,000 square foot building to a 16,000 square foot building. And it was chaos and it was awful.
I was gonna
I mean, it
say.
was insanity. And because this kind of fell with the growth that we were already experiencing, that we thought it would continue, and maybe not continue to grow, but we didn't expect it to fall, and it did fall. And a lot of manufacturers experienced that, where Peloton is like one of the most famous examples, where they had this enormous growth when everybody was suddenly at home, and they went and built new factories and doing all this huge stuff, and then they were left holding the bag on the other side, because also a bunch of other companies showed up and started
Right.
doing home fitness as well. um, so that was really tough for us to. It was, I mean, we've landed it, we're fine now, but this was a lot of years ago. But we absolutely over purchased peppers, and because we had to decide we didn't have enough chili peppers to do the things that we wanted to do in the fall of 2020, so we over purchased by an enormous amount in winter of 2021, or in January of 2021. And so 2021 we ordered, I think we ordered something like 50,000 pounds of serranos, just red serranos.
Whoa.
Fortunately, we only got 30,000 of them, but we have
Wow.
not ordered a single red serrano since. We are
I don't
still
blame you.
using
That
them.
is insane. Holy
Really
crap.
insane. Really, really insane.
Wow. You
So,
Whoa.
so, so it's not an easy game of estimating what we're going to need. It's one of the advantages we have about being able to develop new flavors is that, or develop new products, is that we can angle the products to the ingredients that we have. So that's why Taco Vibes Only, while being a super hot, the base of it is Serrano, because we have, I mean, at this point, I
So
think we're
much,
down
yeah.
to, I don't know, 15, 18,000 pounds of red Serranos, maybe 20, something like that. I don't remember exactly. It's a lot.
Wow.
Um, but it's, but yeah, so we choose what we need. We choose recipes, we angle recipes toward the ingredients that we have. We do micro batches every month. We launch 3 new micro batches every month, and almost all of those are brand new. And so today we did 2 today. It was a maple garlic ginger,
Ooh.
because Vermont is growing amazing baby ginger. I mean, it's not baby ginger, amazing ginger, amazing ginger. It is so, so good. And because Vermont, in spite of what it looks like outside right now, is a tropical place. And it's
Yeah.
basically a jungle. And there's so much water here. And and so yeah, so we have this amazing ginger, and I'm just always trying to figure out what to do with it. So we just made this. So that's going to be launched, I don't know, probably in the next week or two, because I think we actually need it in hurry.
Wow.
I think we might be launching it this weekend if we can get the labels made.
Oh,
Um,
holy crap.
so and then the other one was a cranberry mustard.
Oh,
Yeah, it's and
wow.
with ghost peppers.
Ooh.
And it's not a lot of ghost peppers, but it's shockingly hot for how much ghost pepper. There's only a
Yeah.
small amount of ghost pepper, but it's got a
Wow.
great kick, and it's really got a nice mustard front, and the cranberryness is not coming across as much as I want it to, but I think it'll come across more as it settles, and it's got this beautiful cranberry color.
Mm.
So that's just like what we made today. We've got a whole nother set of plans for next week, including this tatsoi tomatillo that we're gonna make. So we
Ooh.
froze a bunch of tatsoi from the summer. Um, so we're always doing this, and we're always developing new things. And often these micro batches, they might become a hot ones batch. They might become a somebody else's best selling sauce. It's not unusual for somebody to say, I want to white label that sauce that you made as a micro.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like,
Mm.
okay, great. Like, we have the recipe written down. We'll make it again.
That's crazy.
And then sometimes they also come back. So our tomatillo corn hot sauce is probably our most popular micro, because usually when a hot sauce gets this popular for us, we turn it into a big batch sauce and we'll make it
Yeah.
regular. But because we're farm to fork, we have to buy our corn on the ears, and
Right.
cutting that much corn off of that many
No.
corn kernels off is just awful, and it just
No.
sucks. And we're just not going to do it. So we make it in micro batches. We make it a couple times a year, and it actually just won first place in the International Flavor Awards for the Verde sauce. Um, and it's a great sauce, and it sells so well. So
Wow.
that one is like one that we'll bring back, multiple times. And Chocolate Ghost, the
Yeah.
other one that you have there
Yeah.
with you,
We're gonna
is
crack into that in like
yeah.
a couple minutes. Wow.
And that's also, I think I'm safe to say, that is right now or is about to be a Heatonist subscription box sauce.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be for December, so I think it's going to go out in the December sub box.
Very cool.
And but that is a micro batch that we bring back periodically, usually like once or twice a year, that people really love and they stock up on. And it's got a stupid amount of maple syrup in it, way more maple syrup than the sriracha. Um, but
Wow.
it, but it's so, so good. So yeah, the
Can't
micro
wait.
batches keep us experimenting. We get to see what's interesting at the farmer's market. We made a blueberry basil sauce this summer.
Ooh.
We made a strawberry basil sauce that was really good too. I actually blueberry Thai basil. We did I don't even remember. Oh, we did uh a what was it? It was a cabbage sauce. Totally blanking on which one it was, but we made some really yummy hot sauces with cabbage. There was
Wow.
squash, chipotle squash hot sauce. And it's a lot of fun, and it keeps us experimenting, and it gives us room to shift if we ever need to shift because we've
Holy
run out of
crap.
peppers.
Holy crap. So, dude, I gotta say this right now. You're probably one of the most experimental companies I've talked to since I've started this show.
Yeah.
It just goes beyond what you can see on the website.
Yeah.
Another company I talked to also was Torchbearer, and they have like 50 sauces on their site. And they're like, we have like 50 more. I'm like, holy crap. So,
So we
wow.
counted, it was like 2 years ago that we counted. I don't think we've counted more recently, but between our products and our co-pack products, we made over 200 unique SKUs in 1 year.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's like the wildest or more experimental flavor combo you've tried so far? And has it made it into your production?
Gosh, I don't know. So the thing about micro batches is that basically 100% of them end up going up for sale. You know, we don't we have thrown out some batches where we're like, there is no rescuing this, we're going to toss it. But I think it's been like two, like ever.
Wow.
Generally speaking, when we make something, it goes out for sale. And that is not to say we sell crap, you know, but because we're there on the stovetop, we can experiment with it and we can,
Yeah.
you know, we could just try other things. I can go, we save all of our labels. Let me I mean, we save all our recipes too, but I don't have those like in front of me. Those are saved in a notebook. Um, but I can bring up all of our labels, and if I go back to the really early days, I can because done it since we've done since the beginning. Um, the very first sauce we made was a fennel jalapeno sauce, and we recently remade it, and it's called fennel jalapeno now. Back then, I called it Green Kick, and it had a brown label. I don't know why I chose to give it a brown label, but I did. But in the beginning, oh, we would have raspberry jalapeno,
Yummy.
Stanley plum, beer hot sauces, Heady
Hmm.
topper, cayenne lime. And the funny thing is that as uh we did, oh yeah, so like different paprika peppers, like ground cherry habanero. Are you familiar with ground cherries?
Wow. Yeah.
Love ground cherries. Those are like some of
Wow.
my favorite. The But because we're right there in the stove, we can always just kind of experiment, and
Yeah.
we can adjust a sauce to make it good. But I always have to be careful because I'm not the one buying the sauce. I have to make sure
Right.
this is a sauce that other people are going to enjoy. And so I've absolutely had sauces where I'm like, "Oh, this one really isn't my favorite. We're gonna go ahead and put it out there. I think it's fine. It's a fine sauce, but I don't really like it." And people love it and it blows people away. And the so paprika is a really good example of that. I'm not a big fan of the paprika peppers. I'm not a big fan of cayennes either. There's a bitterness under the skin that I just
Mhm.
don't enjoy. And people love those sauces. So when I'm making those and sampling them, I have to like subtract that flavor from it. I'm like, okay, if it weren't for that flavor, do I like the rest of it? And if I'm like, I like the rest of it, okay, we can release it. And other people are like, oh my God, I love these paprika sauces. And I'm like, I love it for you. That's great.
That's funny. That's funny.
um,
And that's actually
yeah,
very considerate because a lot of people I talk to are like, yeah, if I don't like it, I don't put it out. Or, if I don't like that ingredient, I don't use it. But you're actually like taking into consideration what people do
yeah.
like, aside from your own biases. And
And I'm
I
always
think that's admirable.
surprised. And also, while like I take lead on the majority of the flavors here, I'm not the only
Yeah.
one. Our kitchen supervisor got her chef training at the Culinary Institute of America, so she's, you know, got full chops, much fancier chops than I have. And so sometimes she'll take lead on develop sauces. We did a chermoula sauce that was in a heat in a sub box a while back. That was hers, and there's been some other ones. So it's definitely, she definitely goes more for like world inspiration. I tend to build from the flavor up, or from the ingredient up. I can taste in my head, so that helps a lot with being able to develop a flavor and kind of knowing approximately what it's going to taste like before we even make it. Um,
Wow.
we have a sauce that I think will get launched. We made it a little while ago, but I think it'll launch with these other two. That it's a not hot sauce made with Trinidad seasoning peppers, which are
Ooh.
like Scotch bonnets, but no heat. But we didn't have enough of those, so we blended them with Carmen's, which are sweet pepper, like a kind of like a bell pepper,
Okay.
and I blended those together, and they combined to taste like warm, soft nothing. It was the weirdest experience I've ever had. And so I need to taste it. I think it'll be fine, but I need to taste it now that the flavor is settled and it's cooled. And it tasted like what like a microfleece blanket would taste like if that had a flavor. Like
I don't
it was
know if you're
warm,
really
soft.
selling this, Claire.
I know, right? And I was like, and it was funny because I was sitting there and I kept eating it. I was like, oh my God, it tastes like warm, soft nothing. And it was like amazing because the flavors like canceled each other out.
Mhm.
And part of the reason I was so fascinated with it is that it's and like I said, I think it's going to taste fine as it cools down. This is when it was
Yeah.
warm, but What's really fascinating when flavors do that is that you can then layer other flavors on top of them. So cucumbers are a really great example that they actually will subtract flavor from like the center of the flavor of the sauce. And so you can pile other flavors on top of it. And so where you would normally have, you know, trying to think of an example, like well, you normally would have, let's say you're eating a habanero is a great example, and you
Yeah.
just have the flavor of habanero, and it's going to carry you through. You're going to get that fruitiness, that nice. I also think certain habaneros have like a meaty flavor, so you're going to get that
Yeah.
savory, that sweetness right at the front, and then you're going to carry through that flavor, and then you're going to get that little bit of bitterness that the habanero has at the end, and then the heat. But you can, if you put in a cucumber in that, you're going to get that initial flavor, but then it'll pull down the next flavor. So then you could carry it into a carrot or cabbage or onion or something like that layered on top. And so where you're expecting to get more habanero flavor, you're going to get a different flavor instead.
Oh, wow.
And that's really fun. It's really fun to play with people's flavor experiences. And when you combine certain flavors, they taste like other things. So that's, with the red jalapeno and the smoked onion, it creates this flavor in the middle that people always assume is tomato, and it's not. And
Yeah.
it's one reason that hot sauce struggles in blind taste tests, like in competitions and stuff like that. It's because people are like, "Oh, this just tastes like a tomato sauce." I'm like, "No, no, you
No
need to
tomato.
understand what we did there."
Yeah.
But um,
This,
yeah,
this one company I talked to put what you're describing in the most fun way, and she called it the flavor, no, the mouth journey.
yeah, yep,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah. No, and that's I so the thing that allows me to taste in my head is called hyperphantasia. And
Mm.
you can have that with any sensory experience. So if you think about, musicians who can hear a whole song played with multiple instruments, a band in their head, and then they can be like, oh, that guitar, you know what? Instead of a guitar, we're gonna have that be a bass. And they can just change it in their head. I can't do that with music at all. But I can do that with flavor. I can absolutely imagine the taste of an apple, its crisp, its bite, its juiciness, and then maybe let's switch that apple from a Fuji to a Golden Delicious. I can taste that. It's going to have a different skin feeling. It's going to have a different, astringency. It's going to have, I can do any of that in my head, and it's a developed skill. If you kind of have a little bit of it, you can grow it, and I've been able to grow it with some of my staff as well.
Wow.
And then as I've gotten more skilled in that, then I can see how flavors are going to combine together and what they're going to do. And it's really fun. It can sometimes be really annoying because it's involuntary. So like if you just started talking about food, I would just be tasting it. Grocery stores are a blast. I love grocery stores. I can just taste it as I walk through. But if I'm feeling sick or nauseous and somebody talks about food, I'm still going to taste it. If I'm
Yeah.
overly full, like my husband likes to tease me and talk about food when I'm overly full, and I'm like, that's not
Oh.
kind. Don't do that to me, please.
Oh,
um,
that's very funny.
so yeah, it's hilarious.
I mean, not for you, but it's just
No,
like,
I mean it's fine. It's my whole life. My dad has it too, and
oh, wow.
he never thought it was anything extraordinary until it was actually when I did a video with Keith from the Try Guys. When I
Yeah.
talked about being able to taste stuff in my head, a lot of people in the video were like, "You have synesthesia," and I was like, "I don't think I have synesthesia." And then I found out about hyperphantasia, and I told my dad, and he was like, "What? Everybody can do that." I'm like, "No, no, lots of people can't." Like,
I think
yeah,
I can though. I'm pretty
yeah,
sure I can because it's just like if I see certain ingredients, I can imagine how it's gonna taste. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's just like
Well,
associating that with my
and
brain.
it's if you have that, you can also absolutely develop that skill and grow it.
Mhm.
They what happened to me once, my husband, when he gets a cold, he stops being able to taste things, and I was like, that's so weird, that never happens to me. And then at one point he was like, do you think you're maybe just tasting it in your head? And I realized, I was like, fucking A, you're right, I am just tasting it in my head, and now I can tell the difference, and now I can't taste anything, thanks.
Great. Not as fun anymore, man.
It's not as
Thanks,
fun.
dude. Speaking of
Yeah,
fun, let's crack into this
the
maple
chocolate
chocolate
ghost,
ghost.
yes.
Yeah. So this is 5 out of 6 chili peppers on your heat scale.
Yes, it's got a
It's
kick.
pretty.
I mean, you sound like a chili head, so it may not knock your knock your socks off, but
You know, it might. I really like the logo. I also really love that you make it a point to like give a plug to the farm that
yes,
grows your products. super important. They don't get enough love.
And
Super important.
the funny thing is the reason I started doing that is because I didn't know what I was doing and I knew that I was sourcing it directly from farms, that every batch was going to taste different because chili peppers taste different from farm to farm. This
It's
one's hotter
true.
than that one, whatever. And I was
Right.
like, well, if I put the farm on the label, then people will know why it tastes different. That wasn't a mistake. It was a feature, not a bug. And but then, it grew into these collaborations and these relationships with farms, and
Yeah.
it's everything to what we do now.
No, it's awesome, and, like, it just shows them the love, and people seeing that it's locally sourced makes them want it even more, it's
Yeah.
just it's a whole freaking thing. I love that. I really love that you do that. I wanna read the little blurb. I love that each bottle has an individual blurb. Some companies do that, some have the same blurb on every bottle, and that's fine too, but I like that
Yeah.
you guys really put a lot of thought into your products, and you have a
Thank
ton
you.
of products.
We have a lot of products.
Maple Chocolate Ghost is one of our most requested customer repeats. This surprisingly spicy sauce combines sweet maple syrup, rich cocoa powder, and blazingly hot ghost peppers for a versatile sauce that is good on beans, poultry, and ice cream. Interesting.
Yep.
Wow. Um, Again, this is from Honeyfield Farm that you collaborated with from Norwich, Vermont. And the ingredients are Honeyfield Farm ghost peppers right up top, organic white vinegar, choice maple organic maple syrup from Vermont, cocoa powder, and salt. So I also want to note all of your ingredients are pretty simply put in there. You don't use a ton of stuff. Obviously, you're going for a more all natural feel for it, and I do
Yep.
appreciate that also.
I think that's part of, being able to taste in my head is that like I can taste each one of those individual ingredients and I want the customer to be able to taste it as well.
Mhm. So we're gonna pop this open. Smells like ghost peppers.
Yep.
That, like, floralness. I grew some ghost peppers over the summer, and I was putting them in my burritos and stuff, but I cut, like, the smallest one I had, and I knew it was gonna be a little monster, but it, like, stunk the whole kitchen up. It was crazy. Just like the smallest one I had, I decided to do that with. Alright. Oh, yeah. I can see the ghost peppers on the side of the bottle too. Oh my god. It looks like, chocolate pudding.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope I didn't take too much, but I don't care. Oh, there's the heat. That is crazy flavor. That's like, I got the chocolate right up front
Hmm.
and the maple,
Hmm.
but, we were talking about this earlier where ghost peppers are kinda slow creepers, and then
Yep.
it came up. Not not mega killer for me, but
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
if you don't eat a lot of hot stuff, might be pretty hot for you.
Well,
Holy
I
crap.
mean, a lot of that is that huge amount of maple syrup in there. So it has about 5 times the amount of maple syrup that our sriracha has in it. And that really kind of tamps down the heat. But the maple, the ghost peppers, and the chocolate are all bringing a floral note
Wow.
that is just a really, and you get this really delicate flavor right up front, which is often indicative of like really high quality chocolate.
Wow.
And then you get that the richness of the maple, and then the ghost pepper and the heat, and it kind of
Holy
carries
crap.
you off.
That is super good. That is actually pretty hot, to be expected. Not knock my socks off. I'm gonna die hot, but it's like it's hot.
Yeah.
A little drop of that and some hot chocolate would be awesome.
Yep.
I hope you
Yep.
done that.
And you can also think of it like a mole. So,
Yeah,
chicken,
yeah, yeah,
beans, that
yeah.
sort of thing. But it is really sweet. And so it's nice, if you like putting hot sauce on ice
Ooh,
cream, it's a nice little like way to
ooh,
do it.
lit me up a little bit. I took
Yeah.
big spoons of it. Wow, dude. Holy shit. I feel pretty good. Oh man. Um, I don't want to take too much more of your time up. Really, thank you for talking to me for so long and chilling. You're a blast. Before we get going, can you just tell us where we can buy your stuff and
Yeah.
find you?
Butterflybakeryvt.com. We are a maker of farm to fork foods. And so we have a lot of products on there besides our hot sauces. We also have our baked goods, our Fat Toad Farm caramel, which we talked about just a little bit, our goat's milk caramel. And we're in stores nationwide and internationally as well. So We're kind of everywhere, but the easiest place to get us is butterflybakeryvt.com.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you, Claire. You were awesome. I hope we can meet up again in the future and chat more, and I can eat some more of your hot sauce. And my tongue is on fire and I am drooling. Holy shit, dude. So anyways, everyone, that's a wrap for today. If you liked this, please comment down below and buy some Claire's sauce because you don't want to miss it. So peace out,
Thank
everyone.
you. This is great.